Hello, people of the world. This is Paul Whittakin again with my Universal Law of Numbers, and we're going to cover a couple of topics today. First of all, this is the first day of school, so all of the students and teachers, the parents are here, the students and the parents, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the materials that we're going to be needing this year. For school, we're going to be studying biology, chemistry, mathematics. We're going to be studying music, art, and literature. And this will be the textbook that we'll be using right here. So this is going to keep us busy for the rest of the year, next year, and probably our entire lifetime before we can figure this out. So who is going to be the teacher? Well, in this classroom, we only have one teacher, and it's the universe. And it's a very fine teacher. And other materials, calculator. Well, calculators are okay, and we can use calculators, but we realize also that this is a calculator, and a very powerful calculator at that. Now, as far as mathematics, we'll be studying a lot of geometry because inside here there's massive amounts of geometry, which is a 3-9-6 system. And we have squares inside there, we have cubes, we have rectangles, we have many different triangles, we have all the hedrons, octahedrons, tetrahedrons, everything like that. And basically we can use this, it's an architectural blueprint for the Great Pyramid as well. So what we have in terms of biology, there's a lot of numeric systems involved with biology, including the strands of DNA and the way that cells replicate themselves. And chemistry, there's so much chemistry in here that it's going to take us a lot of time to explore that and uncover some of it. But what we will do, one of the parents mentioned that their child has attention deficit disorder, which may be the case, but probably they're just daydreaming, which is a very healthy, and it's the way that children develop their intellect, their creativity, and I highly encourage daydreaming in my classroom. As a matter of fact, I envy children who can daydream like that, and I wish I still could. Now, as far as using these screen devices, the iPads and the cell phones and the like, I discourage those items because we're exposing ourselves to a lot of radiation these days, and apparently there can be very harmful effects upon adults, but especially upon children. So I encourage adults to be conscientious of that. It came to my information, true or not, but I have a tendency to believe it, that Steve Jobs and Bill Gates both kept all of those devices away from their children. And whatever it is, it's just something that I want to bring to your attention because it could be a problem for children for sure. So as far as the natural sciences, we know that the natural sciences are all based upon numerics and the natural laws of the universe. And I bring this to your attention because this is a natural law and it is a law of the universe. So as far as music is concerned, we're going to be studying music, and music is a numerical system, and I believe that this is providing harmony and melody, and if one studies this and understands it, they will be able to create music that is pleasing to the ear. For all of the students that are interested in art, I also highly recommend that they study this chart, this table thoroughly, because all of the geometric forms built inside of it, and I believe there's a wealth of information that can be used by artists to create art that's pleasing to the eye. As far as literature and all of the humanities, well, I have this belief that all of this knowledge, all of this learning, it's really all one big subject. It's really all of the same subject. I present this periodic table of mathematics, but I don't consider myself a mathematician. I appreciate mathematics. I appreciate the physics that can be uncovered here, because there's electricity in here, there's gravity in here, magnetism in here. All of the forces of nature can be learned through the language of these simple numbers 1 through 9. So I won't elaborate on that too much because maybe some of you don't agree with me, and it's not about agreeing and disagreeing with each other. It's about learning and sharing what we learn together, so we can basically spread knowledge and free ourselves from all kinds of captivity that we're being subjected to, whether it's in the realm of media propaganda, false belief systems and the like. But whatever it is, we'll move on, and I'll cover a couple of the subjects. So we talk about the 2, 4, 8, the 751 code, which can be also 124875, and for this particular presentation I'm using it as 124875 because what the code does is it teaches us the laws of arithmetic and the laws of multiplication, addition. Multiplication and addition are the same properties, but what we have here is we have the 124875. And we're going across with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And these are the magic numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if you can only remember and think back to the day they were first introduced to you, they were magic. And unfortunately, in between then and now, a lot of things have happened, and you may have lost interest in them. I don't know, but I hope to rekindle it if that's the case. So when we count by ones, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But when we count by twos, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and that goes on to infinity. And when we count by fours, we go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, and so on. So that's also shown here in the code. When we count by eights, it's 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, and onwards. Sevens go 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70, 77, and onwards. And finally 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and onwards. Now the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1s are just simply, once again, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 without the 3s and 6s and 9s. So if we want to do 3, we go 3, double 3 is 6, 6 doubled is 12, doubled is 24, doubled is 48, doubled is 96, doubled is 192. So that's how we follow that sequence. 6 is the same as 3s, obviously, because when we double 3, we get a 6, and then we're going to get the same numbers, and that's why it follows that sequence. When we want to do 9s, 9s always double. they will always reduce to a 9. So 9, 18, 36, 72, 108, 190, well, 140, what am I saying? 9, 18, 36, 72, 144, 288, and so on and so forth. And it repeats over and over and over. It's always going to be a 9. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to look at the 285 portion of the 248751 code, because it in itself is a code. And we're going to address that right now, and I will show you a couple of different options that we have with it. And we'll start with this one. I'm just using 258, 258. So obviously we're going to get the same numbers on this side as we get on this side. Another thing about it is we're going to get the 248751 code, and we're going to get the 181818 code. So in symmetrical alignment, and what we have here is the center of this diagram has these 4 numbers in the middle, and they will reduce to a 3. So when we align the numbers in that way, we're going to come up with a 3. But if we go across, we're going to get 2, 7, 15, 17, 22, and 8 is 30, so 3. 4, 1, and 7 is 12, and another 12 is 24, so that will reduce to a 6. So in this one, we're going to have 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, which is a 9 when we add them all together and reduce them. We're going to see the 3s and the 6s. 6s are just 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. So going down, every 2 numbers will add to a 6 by reduction. And we can see the 3s as well, 2 and 1, 8 and 4, 5 and 7. 5 and 7 is 12 is a 3, 8 and 4 is 12 is a 3, and 2 and 1 is obviously a 3. And we have the same thing going on over on this side. Okay, so what is the 258 code? Well, it's how numbers go from 2 by adding 3 and onwards, because 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 3 is 14, plus 3 is 17, plus 3 is 20, plus 3 is 23, and that's what the 258 code is. And it's the same thing applies for 852, 582. It doesn't make any difference. It will follow that alignment. So that's the importance of the 258 in the code, besides the fact in the original, the way the numbers square. So we'll just quickly review that, and we'll see here that 248751. So 248, 5 cubed is going to be an 8, 5 to the 4th is going to be a 4, 5 to the 5th is going to be a 2, and 5 to the 7th is going to be reduced to a 5. And the same thing applies over here on the other side where you have it here. So 2 squared is going to be a 4, 2 third is going to be 8, 2 to the 4th is a 7, 2 to the 5th a 5, 2 to the 6th a 1, 2 to the 7th is a 2, 2 to the 8th is a 4, 2 to the 9th is an 8, and so on and so forth. So what these numbers are telling us is basically what they're showing when they appear in the periodic table. But they also have a second personality, which is the one I was pointing out just a minute ago. So here we have, now that was 258, again, starting with the 1 over here. But this time we're going to be doing the 528, starting with a 248751, which is a mirror alignment of the other one, essentially, because in this one we have the 181818 code coming down this way, and the 512487, which is the 248751 code, going up that way, and everything's in perfect alignment, as it always will be, because the universe and the universal law of numbers has perfect symmetry. So Here we're also going to find the 6s and the 3s and the 9s. 1 and 2 is 3, 1 and 8 is 9, 2 and 4 is 6, or we go 3, 4 and 8, 3, 7 and 5, 3, 4 and 8, 3, 7, 5, 3. So where the other one was going with 6s, this one's doing 3s. And if we go across 5, 12, 13, 17, and 7 is 24, which is a 6. So instead of being 3, 6, we're going to go 6, 3. 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3. So that's how it works going down. And of course, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1, as always, reduces to a 9. So we have the 3, 6s, and 9s embedded inside of there. And the central area of this one, if you want to refer to it as the nucleus of this particular atom, if you want to use that analogy, we have a 6 in the middle as compared to the 3. So as always, these things, they all add up to something. They mean something, and what they're doing is they're showing you the relationship that numbers have with each other and how they work. So I will come to this one, and in this one I just did 852, 852, which is another derivation, and we're going to get the 818s coming down, 8181, the code, 2487512 going upwards. We have 8 and 5, which is, okay, so this one we have 9 and 3. So 8 and 1 is 9, 7 and 5 is a 3, 8 and 7 is a 6, 5 and 1 is a 6, 2 and 4 is a 6. So 6 is going down. 9s, when we do it this way, 7 and 2, 8 and 1, 7 and 2. And of course we're going to have the 3s as well, because we always do. So here's 3s. 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, 8, 1, 2, 2, 4 is a 6, so we have 3, 6, 3, 6, 3. Just like always, we have perfect symmetry. And the nucleus of this atom, which will be the 8, 5, 7, 1, if we add those together and reduce them, we're going to have a 3. So this one is going to be centralized around the number 3. But as always, 3, 6, and 9, which are the numbers in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that are not 3, 6, or 9. But as we see always, they're all interconnected. So what can we learn about that? Well, in the universe, everything's interconnected. We don't understand everything. Science hasn't been able to explain everything. You know, there are things that cannot be measured in terms of science. You know, how do you measure love? How do you measure inspiration? How do you measure intuition? How do you measure human consciousness? These are mysteries. But one thing I think that the code is teaching us is that in the universe, everything is interconnected, even our consciousness. There's a collective consciousness, and anything that we do to affect the collective consciousness of the human race or the universe, it's going to have an effect. And what we want to always do is stay in harmony with the universe and keep all of the numbers aligned, and that way we have perfect symmetry, and that, I think, is possibly the lesson in philosophy that this code is sharing with us today. Me for sure. Anyway, one thing I want to do before I check out here quickly is I want to make mention of the fact that since this is the universal law of numbers, and all numbers are found within it, and I can show you, just illustrate quickly. Now, it's a very uncanny thing about this, but you will be able to generate any number from anywhere in the table. But I'll just give you an example. So if we want to find 1 through 9, and we start here, we can go 1, 2, 2 and 1 is 3, 4, 5, 7 and 2, the difference between those, 6, difference between 7 and 1, or 4 and 2 if you want to, 7, 8, 9 minus 1, 7 plus 1, it's always going to be there, and 9. But The question is, that's not the important thing I want to point out. It's where the number is. Nothing is a coincidence. So if I'm looking for pi, I can find pi here. Now, whether or not it's pi or not, that remains, that's an unknown to me. It's a theory, but I will show you that if you really want to look deeply into the code, that you can find things that may or may not be coincidence. But once again, the way that the numbers are aligned and the way that they interrelate, I'm inclined to believe it's probably not a coincidence. But if we're looking for pi, we can go 3. Now, before I say this, I want to point out something about the nines. Whenever you put a 9 together with a number, it will always reduce to that other number. For instance, 3 and 9 will reduce to a 3. 5 and 9 will reduce to a 5. 7 and 9 will reduce to a 7. Because 9 has a property that's something similar to 0 in that respect. So I'm going to go 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 7 and 1, or 5 and 1, 5, 3, 2 and 1, 5 again, 7 and 2, or 5 right there, but you know, from here where I just left off, 7 and 2, the difference is a 5, and 3, 5, 9, so 3, 5, 9. Or I can go 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 5, 4 and 1, 3, 4 and 1, 5, 4 and 1, 9. So now when I did that, as you can see, it's not a matter of finding any number. You can do that, but somehow I think that the sequence there of those numbers is implying pi, and in effect, you can find it throughout the code. You can find it in many different ways. So whether or not that's pi, or whether or not I come up and I show you the golden ratio, you know, maybe you're going to think I had nuts for breakfast, but I don't know. I'm trying to learn the knowledge and the information and the wisdom that's embedded inside of this periodic table of mathematics, this universal law of numbers. And to me, it's a gold mine. So I'm showing you the gold mine, and I'm showing you where it is. And I believe if you dig for gold inside of this gold mine, you will find it. And I believe that this is a very ancient, the knowledge of this table that we have right in front of us is very, very ancient, and it's produced a lot of advancement over the ages, and there's a lot that we can learn from it. You know, to me, it's many things. So I just gave it another name, but it's also an architectural blueprint for the pyramids, because what it is it has inside of the circle the triangles, and it's all in 3 dimensions. So for you, I hope you find something that's noteworthy and beneficial, and something that helps you in your life too. Anyway, Paul Whittekind again. I'm going to be checking out for today. Peace and happiness to the world, and I hope to see you back again soon.